Yeah. Oh yeah, you got your Gaddafi background.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, this is my
Operation
bombed out
Desert
shelter
Storm.
in Beirut.
Yeah, it's good. Lebanon, really.
I'm coming.
That is
coming
that
to
is in
you
Lebanon.
live.
From.
I'm
Is
Wolf
it-
Blitzer. That's
Can I
what he
go
sounds
home?
like. Wolf Blitzer. Hello, I am Wolf Blitzer.
I don't think that's how Wolf Blitzer sounds.
No, it's a dead ringer. Perfect impression of Wolf Blitzer.
Okay.
Hello there, Wolf Blitzer here. It's the 1920s.
I don't know what
I had a very big brownie.
Yeah, are you doing okay?
Yeah, doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I don't know.
You're not sure?
Well, it's one of those days where I've had literally multiple people check in on me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a couple over, like, how you doing? You know, you seem a little stressed or whatever. And then one person who was just kind of, you know, just checking in generally, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like, and then on another platform, couple people checking in, not like checking in, but like people haven't heard from in a while, just like saying, hey, you know, and so I feel like either I'm sending some signal that I'm not okay, or the universe is like just being weird today or something. I don't know. Or maybe everyone else in the world is bored, and I'm like the one person who is not. Who's not bored.
Or it could be like they're picking up on a vibe and like,
well, that's what's bothering me. Like
tomorrow's gonna suck.
Well, now I don't know. Like, what do I like? I got this fortune cookie a week ago. That I feel like I get one end
Just
of the
says,
spectrum.
give it up, Jason.
I get one of the end of the spectrum or the other. I either get the fortune cookie that's just complete junk, like, I don't know.
An avocado is
I'm having
tough
trouble.
to eat by yourself in a bag or something like that.
That would be comical.
I kind of like those.
Right. Right. So I either get those, which are just a waste of time, I think, or I get the ones that are some is it harbinger or harbinger? Harbinger.
I usually use
The jur. That's what I do too. Yeah. But it's when I was about to say it, because of my, question everything I say brain. I was like, I don't know if I should say that out loud now. Harbinger of bad things. Like, so there, I got this one, but maybe not bad. Maybe that's just my spin on it, because I got this one fortune cookie that said something like, today, a big change will happen today.
Ooh.
Like today, and then I'm sitting there thinking, well, wait a second. Is this a good change? Is this a bad change? Is it today? Like, whose today is it? Is it today, like here,
right.
or is it today, like in
the origin of the
like
fortune
in
cookie.
Tokyo, which is actually tomorrow? Like now, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
What today is.
So when did you have the fortune cookie?
No, I don't know. It was like a week or more. It was more than a week.
Oh, a week or more.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did leave the piece of fortune cookie ticker tape on the counter.
Oh.
Yeah. For just
now, I wonder if
if
fortunes are transferable.
You mean like if I gave it to somebody else?
Well, yeah. If the next guy came along and found it, is that now his fortune?
Or is it his albatross?
Or his cormorant?
Or his turmeric?
Or his Tanis, the lost city of Tanis, where the Ark is buried.
Or his ginkgo biloba.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was a big run. I remember. When was that? Mid-90s.
It was
when everybody was into both ginkgo and ginseng.
It was when what's his name? Who just died. Was
really
pushing
isn't working too well for that.
It was pushing it hard, man. It was. Oh my goodness.
Come on.
CNN.
Larry King. Yeah.
Larry King, thank you. Larry King. That and Gold Bond. And Gold
Bond medicated powder. Yeah.
Oh, and to this day, I've not tried that, but I feel like I'm probably missing out on a life experience.
I don't.
Gold Bond medicated powder. Not to be confused with Gold Star Parents.
No, two very similar things, but they're just subtle differences.
They're not mutually exclusive.
No, that's true. That's true. I have never been one to powder myself. And with anything, Gold Bond
this is a great
otherwise.
episode. This is podcast gold right here. Let's talk about how you may or may not powder yourself in the future.
I was in the cast of a show with a guy who was let's say a religious powderer.
Was that his character was, or this guy?
No, the actor himself was.
He wasn't like portraying a powdered donut or something.
No, but you would think that his donuts were well powdered, and he certainly engaged in it frequently. Like even like an intermission, it was time to reapply.
Oh, did he use Gold Bond medicated?
No, it was just like sort of your regular old baby powder.
Wouldn't that be tingly?
Now, see that I might understand then the draw.
Okay.
If it's kind of Carmex for.
I don't want any distraction in that department.
If I was on stage trying to remember my lines, I would probably stumble a few times because of tingle crotch.
I don't need to be reminded of the powder's existence.
Right
in that area.
Right. If the powder is going to be employed to take care of a situation, then I want it to do so quietly.
Yes. Like the good soldier it is. So he would just kind of. How did you know? Like you would go back to the dressing room together, and then he would just.
Well, I mean, I would be there, and you'd see. I mean, because dressing rooms are all mirrors, and so like you see the guy, and I mean, it's like suddenly there is a cloud, and the guy is. I don't know, wiggling in such a way that can hardly be interpreted any other way.
Well, you got to mix it around.
Well, yeah. One would assume.
Cover all the surface.
Right. You like shake and bake. You got to,
that's a little. Sure I think shake and bakes have too much friction.
Oh yeah. Now you don't want to use the shake and bake as your powder. No, that's very bad. That's shake and chafe right there. I'm thinking of like when you have to make a stew.
Oh no! Are you really? This is the leap we made.
And you've got the diced like beef, and you have to do the thing. It's got a word, I think.
What's the thing? Wait, no. What's the thing?
Where you coat it in flour and then you sort of grill it, or not grill it, but pan it.
Okay.
And then put it in the stew. And the stew cooks it the rest of the way. But it's like that. You got to shake the bag around to make sure all of the pieces of meat get a good coating of flour before you put them in the stew. Wow. Metaphorically speaking.
But that's exactly what he was doing.
Right, exactly.
Because you're on stage, and I don't know what he was wearing, but there's like
just kind of regular clothes.
There's lights. A lot of it's like hot. Is he a larger guy?
Not really.
I feel like
a few extra pounds, but nothing.
I feel like probably if you're a size 40 as a guy, you're like a size 40 and up. You're doing some powdering probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it always seems so messy to me. And uncontrolled. Maybe that's it. Maybe there's a bit of, I don't know, neat freak or something in me that's like dousing, slinging powder into my pants.
Have you ever worked in a bakery?
I've never worked in a bakery.
They need to be well ventilated for this reason.
That powder is typically on the outside, is it not? The flour?
Well, yeah, but I mean, the idea is like you can't use flour without it just kind of wafting, and if it wafts, it's combustible, so you have to have good ventilation and everything.
Yeah,
so
that's true. You don't want flame crotch. But
then there's different. Well, that's the thing that's what he's trying to avoid is the flame crotch.
Well, that's But it seems like
we started on this.
It can't be. I don't know. It's Good episode. But it seems like it's uncontainable, right? Because like my underwear and my pants both have holes where my legs go. Mm-hmm. And it seems like a lot of powder would escape through those holes when applying.
Are you an excessively dry individual? Do you have...
I have never really sort of measured my moisture against the moisture of others. So how I compare moisture-wise,
I mean, I would have been impressed if you had just measured it on its own. Comparing it to others would have been a plus.
Well, I don't know what unit to use. What do you?
The English standard, of course. Like I think you'd have to use an imperial unit of some sort.
Is it parts per million? Is it?
I think.
How many sweats per square inch? I don't know. Milliliters per square inch. That's.
There would be a capture ratio of some sort. So okay. Here's what you would have to do. You would need to be in some sort of cylinder.
Okay.
Where the mass has been measured.
My mass or the mass of the cylinder?
All the mass of everything in the cylinder, I guess. Okay. I don't know.
So we're talking mass, but
maybe
not
you get in. It's measuring your mass, right? And then you're handed the powder in the cylinder, and you powder up, right?
Yeah.
You wait a second. And then you leave the cylinder and enter another cylinder.
Okay.
Where your mass is then measured again.
So now it's me plus powder.
Me plus whatever powder is sticking to you.
Right. Okay, I got you.
Because whatever powder's left.
So it's how much.
But
I see.
That's your moisture.
That's your moisture coefficient.
It's very scientific. And if you could, I don't know what visual you have, but the visual I have in my head is so amazing. It's like this cylindrical, it's like this tube, this plastic tube of some sort that's human sized. It's like, so you can stand in it with plenty of room. And it's got a nice little platform, and then you exit out and then you walk across to the next one, and this is all done in my bathroom, of course. So it's, I don't know why these things.
So you have moisture,
and then you go in
a pair of moisture measuring.
Well, that's where you're gonna where else can you do this measurement where you're gonna get completely naked? Like you can't be in a regular laboratory environment. So
it says you.
Oh, no one's that. Anyway, so
I'm picturing the tubes in This Island Earth when they're having to get.
I don't think I've seen that.
Have you not? It's yeah. I would highly recommend you watch the Mystery Science Theater 3000 version of it. But is there powdering? Quite hilarious. No, but there are tubes, and there are tubes that apparently prepare you for space in some way. I don't remember exactly what the quote unquote science was behind them, but they're tubes that come up around you and they zap you with like a gas. But in this case, it would be a powder.
Yeah, or they like these are like the tubes where you get in. Some of those water slides where you drop.
Oh, right.
The bottom floor. It's like that, except upright. And you're not gonna fall out from. Yeah. So there's that. So I think that's how you would measure it. And then you have to decide. Like you have to be careful not to use the powders that have talcum, like talcum. Talcum's not a thing. Talc in it. Talcum powder's a thing.
No, those are bad for.
They're bad
for reasons.
Yeah, it's like a carcinogenic or something like that.
Oh, is it? Ooh,
yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I just remember it being number one on Mohs hardness scale from Geolab or whatever when I was in college.
Is one? I assume one's low.
One's the very small. Yeah, the worst.
It's the worst. Suck. Oh, it's a good bad scale.
this rock sucks. This is no good as a rock.
That's terrible. It's like the rock. It's like the rock picked last for all sporting events.
Right? Because you just terrible. Like that, and it just crumbles completely.
You're just gonna crumble, Talc. I'm not picking you.
How does it even exist without?
It's like, how can you have baseball without Talc?
And then I remember none of the rest of them except for, of course, Diamond at number 10. And there was something called carborundum or I think that's Latin for something. Some C word.
Conundrum.
9. And I don't remember what exactly that was, but those are the only 3 I even have an inkling on. Like what was number 6? No clue. So I don't know that GeoLab like stuck with me. Although I do remember that we had, as the lab part of geology, we had those plastic pencil boxes that like from 3rd grade. That's a good box that you put pencils in, and then it had like 8 or 10 different rocks in there, and we had to identify the rocks, and the boxes stay in the lab, right?
Okay.
And we have the checklist, kind of just scratch it on the glass to see if it is harder than, I think that's like harder than step 6 in the Mohs hardness scale, is if it scratches glass. And then there was like, you rub it on this tile, and if it comes off on the tile, that means something.
Unless the tile's made of talc.
Yeah, and if you have a talc tile, then
it's just gonna crumble.
That's no good, and you're gonna get false positives on your tube-based moisture exam. But the one of the ones I thought was hilarious was tastes of salt. And like you had to check the list. And there's so many things wrong with that. Number 1, there's one rock that tastes of salt, and it's halite. And
wouldn't it be salt?
Well, I mean, this is like naturally occurring salt, basically.
Right, I got you.
But also, these are communal boxes of rocks.
Oh.
So now when you're in college, you don't really think of this. In the days of COVID, you probably do. But you're now licking a rock.
Yeah, really? Like
that has been licked by other lab partners and other classes and perhaps other semesters. So that was that's the 90s.
So much. This explains so much.
Yeah, right. Because I was in Rock Licking 101, and
maybe you would have gotten the prize if you had raised your hand and said, "Hey, professor, you think it's such a good idea to be looking the rocks?"
It was a secret test.
Like, they were waiting for the one person to be. It's that Men in Black moment.
It's like the Starfighter arcade game.
It's like the Men in Black moment when
nobody even knows they're being tested.
When they're trying to like fill out the little
those books
questionnaire.
Are way too advanced for her.
No, that's not what I was thinking. No, I'm talking about the moment where they're in the little eggshell shaped chairs, and they have a test to do, and it's like a piece of paper and a pencil, and they don't have a flat surface. But there's that one table in the middle of the room that no one can really reach. So Will Smith's character, he just steps over and drags the table all the way.
That was him passing a test there.
Yes, it totally was. Okay. Oh yeah.
Because it always looked to me like Tommy Lee Jones was a little embarrassed by that.
No, that was the test.
I think it was great. Yeah, I think he resourceful. Bucking the social mores. And then
he looked over at his buddy. He's like, "You want to get on? You want to get on?"
Yeah, that's another pass of the test. It's like he's not going to hoard it all for himself.
Right,
that's
there's
cool.
plenty of table there.
Yeah, I always like the aesthetic of Men in Black.
So I don't know. I don't know how did the guy on stage powdering himself come up? I don't remember.
Well, because of a thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was a thing that we were talking about.
Because I was talking about how I was I was questioning how I was doing because I wasn't sure what kind of day I was going to have. And the fortune cookie thing came up, and I don't know. Oh, Gold Bond. Oh, it was Gold Bond. It was Larry King.
Yes, indeed.
And it was
Larry
the ginkgo biloba. And I don't know why we went to ginkgo biloba, because we were talking about something else. I think I made fun of something you were saying.
Which it was
my way of changing or sort of moving away from that word.
I had to be Captain Yes and over here and take it to its absurd conclusion.
Sorry. So lessons learned.
Yes.
Fortune cookies don't even bother.
Yeah. So bottom line,
have you ever done the fortune cookie thing where you finish everything you say in certain things? Anyway, I won't go. Yeah. So fortune cookies, waste time. Gold Bond, medicated powder, not related to Gold Star parents, but a good idea, possibly, but not in the way that the guy on stage used it, because we don't know about the tingly effect.
Right, which you can say the same for Gold Star families.
There's a special place in hell reserved for you now. You realize that? A special little room.
I thought I'd throw a little edgy humor into this one.
Green room. reserved for you.
It's not easy being.
Oh my God, I'm not going to visit. I'm not even going to visit. And also, but I think that's it. I think that might be all the lessons learned so far. Yeah, that's.
Hey, night, everybody.
And I don't know whether I don't know. I don't know whether I'm sending signals.
You don't know how you are.
Wrong.
We still haven't.
Yeah, because now there's observation bias, and now I'm alerted. Like so many
Hey
guys, if you were trying to be subtle about it, too late, because now I'm on to you, and now I'm just gonna fake it. Like, oh yeah, everything's great. Does that bother you? Do you get annoyed when people say like, "Hey, how you doing? You doing all right? You doing all right?"
I can, yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's sort of it depends on when and where and why I'm being asked this. I think that a lot of times, and maybe this is just the fact that my mom's side of the family is German, and it's sort of I
can't wait till I'd love for this goes.
You're going to ask me about my emotions or whatever. I will take care of the emotions myself, thank you. But yeah, I mean, it's just sort of like, I mean, if there are things actually going on that are bad and that might sort of inspire somebody to ask me a question like that, then yeah, I'm not gonna say I like it. That's a little strong, but I was like, I'm cool with that. That's showing concern, and I like that. That's really cool. What I don't like is that I like my grandfather on my mother's side, and a couple of my cousins on that side as well. We have resting German face, which means when we're not making any facial expression at all, we look very stern, perhaps pissed off, certainly troubled.
Yeah, I think most people know that by another acronym, but yeah.
Well, it's a very German face though that we make, and it's my grandfather on that side, not Pete. This is my other grandfather, Al, and he was a, I mean, if you needed a textbook resting German face guy, he was your guy. I mean, if he was just kind of walking along perfectly happy, but not necessarily smiling, you'd be like, my God, that guy hates me. But he doesn't. That's just what his face does when he's not making an expression. And I get a little bit of that. What I have is about 20 to 30% of what he had.
Yeah, I've never had that thought about you though. I've never thought like, you know what? I never really know what Marcus is thinking.
You never thought that you don't know what I'm thinking?
Yeah, I never felt like that.
Or that you
problem. Really maybe I just don't care
about what I'm thinking.
I just don't care.
And I try to typically when we're around, I don't shut up. So there's also that. I'm never actually in a situation where I'm just kind of staring with no expression on my face.
I think I don't know how to take it. I think that when people, I don't know, it's weird. It's just weird. I mean, somebody else actually literally while we were talking sent a message like, "How you doing?" Like what is happening?
Yeah, why
don't I know?
What inspired you to ask that?
Is my zipper down? Like, do I have like something hanging on my nose? Like, what is happening?
And you said it was a bunch of people, huh?
It's like, it's a handful of people, but it's like,
that's weird that they all did it at the same time.
They're like unrelated people, and it's not asking it overtly like
they didn't all get together.
Okay? Are you doing okay? It's not all like that. There were a couple like that, but the others were more just like checking in. I don't know.
That's kind of a weird one too for me. And
maybe something's coming. Maybe the fortune. I shouldn't throw that fortune cookie away.
You're regretting that now.
Maybe today meant like this month.
Well, could be.
Maybe it was geologic terms.
Yeah.
It's like
sometime
today
next
this eon. There's
They say these terms of time are not
this
literal.
Fluff piece on NPR today I heard was part of my daily thing. I not to get into too much detail. We've already talked about the. We've already been in my bathroom for this episode, so we'll just keep going with that.
Let's walk right past the tubes into this next thing.
Right, part of my morning bathroom routine is to listen to NPR news, and so I will tell my Google device. I had to stop for a second and pause because this morning I don't know why. That's how you know I was off today. I am off today a little bit. I didn't sleep well. I was up late, and then I didn't sleep anyway. And then this morning, when after I was finished my shower, I usually say, "Okay, hey Google, play NPR News," and instead I said computer. I said computer first, which then of course triggered her.
Right.
Which is a problem.
The computer one is in your bathroom.
And then I was like, then I see the light, and I'm like, oh, now I have to be silent. And I say, but I didn't. I said cancel, and then she thought I said something else. She's like, I don't see a such and such. I'm like, oh my god, now you just gotta be quiet. And now I'm annoyed. She goes into
a soliloquy every time.
Because I can't tell Google what to do now because I gotta wait for her to stop listening, because she's gonna keep trying. I'm like, just please stop. Yeah. And then finally she stopped. Then I said, hey Google, play NPR News, and it does. And then at the tail end of the news, they typically will play some story from it's either science or technology related or both. And today was about something called space hurricanes.
I'm intrigued already.
Well, right. And they're describing these, I guess they're like storms of solar particles of sorts, and and they can change. I stopped listening at some point because I got so caught up on the fact that they're calling this a hurricane. I'm like, why? It's not a hurricane.
Yeah, that's kind of a specific thing.
It didn't
start
off the coast of Africa and develop because of a...
Now, why not a space typhoon? I mean, why are we discerning here?
I don't understand why we're calling it a space hurricane. It's not a hurricane. It's not even like a hurricane.
I think one of the identifying factors of hurricanes is that they're not in space.
Right, and they involve a lot of water and pressure. And anyway, I don't know. It's one of those things where it came on and I was annoyed with it, and I don't even know why I brought it up just now, other than that it was something that I'm like, that's how my day started, is me kind of being annoyed by that story and other stuff. And so, and I didn't walk today.
Oh yeah,
which is a big deal because I was trying to get a little extra sleep because I didn't sleep well. So like that was off. So I am a little off today.
Huh? Maybe
how do they know? That's creepy. How do they know that?
Did you get this before or after you did lunch break?
I got it after.
So maybe they were watching.
Well.
And they're like, hey, he seems like maybe he didn't go walking today.
He seems a little. Does he look like he's? Does he look
like? Need powder?
Does he look a little swollen to you today? I think maybe he's retaining water, and he looks annoyed, and I bet it has something to do with space hurricanes. Yeah. I don't want to go out on a limb or anything, but I'm betting.
I get a feeling that there's going to be a big change sometime in the next geological era for this guy.
Yes, I will become powder. That's what will happen.
There's a 0 on Mohs hardness scale.
Today, Jason becomes powder. Details at 11.
It's one step below talc.
Tune in to learn more about how the space hurricane will be affecting your weekend.
Weird bumper music they use on public radio.
I also did a is this too meta to talk about this? I did a podcast refresh. I don't know what you can call it. There was an article in the New York Times 2 weeks ago now that, and for all those you wondering where, like, now that, if you weren't judging me before, now, if the powder didn't get you to judge me, and if me saying I just don't care, it didn't get you to judge me, knowing that I listen to NPR and reading the New York Times is certainly going to win me some judgy points. So just bring it on.
I know about you and the crossword puzzles.
bring it on. Anyway, I also like the Wall Street Journal for what it's worth. So figure that out. So there's an article about podcasts, and it was like podcasters and the podcasts they recommend.
So podcasts that podcasters recommend that aren't their own podcast.
Yes.
What do podcasters listen to? What podcast is this?
That was the thing. Cool. Right? So it was a whole. I mean, I'm not going to remember the whole list, but so I added the ones that looked interesting or sounded interesting. I added those to my list, to my subscription, and I've been making my way through those gradually, and I've developed a system.
Of course you did.
and it feels very good. It's so cathartic. And also a little anxiety building. So what I do is I listen, and I kind of have like the similar rule that I apply to books. Like if I'm in it like just a few pages, I don't even give it a chapter. If I'm a few pages in and I'm not interested, I don't continue. I don't force my way through the book. Life's too short. You should have put your best stuff right up front. Like, don't lose me. And this links back to that other thing we never talked about. And I didn't even intend to. And baby, I'm back. Okay, so.
Well, you certainly look like you're feeling a lot better. I was worried about you earlier.
I knew you were, but I'm back, baby.
That's why I told all those people to check up on you.
So I start to listen to the podcast, and if I give it like 30 seconds, maybe a minute. If I'm not into it, I'm like, and I just delete that episode. But
that would screw us. But okay,
I have a 3-episode rule. So I give it 3 episodes, unless I'm so turned off by the one, I'm like, forget it. I have a 3-episode rule. So if I listen and go through 3 episodes without liking any of them, then I delete the whole podcast.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Gone, right? Okay. So far. The survivors, let's see, the ones I added. So some of these I circled back to. I had given up years ago, and then I've come back. Like one of those being How I Built This with Guy Raz on NPR, which is a lot of fun. I mean, I'm actually really enjoying this series, like the set that he has going right now. So there's that. There's another one called It's Been a Minute with Sam Sanders. And this is focused on, and it's almost painful for me to listen to this. So I don't think it stands a chance really long term of lasting, but it's very culture focused, like pop culture focused, because I'm trying to actually just learn something. And it's painful, so it's probably not going to last. LeVar Burton reads.
Okay.
Which I don't know if you've listened to or not, but
I have not. But
it's LeVar Burton reading like stories from his favorite books.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like just excerpts.
Yeah.
That's I dig that. So I like LeVar Burton.
I'm not sure he's gonna last forever either, because like
I mean
it's not him. It's just the stories he picks. Sometimes I'm like I'm not so interested. Some are just gonna bore you to tears, like the Osterholm update, which is related to COVID-19. Where's another one? Oh, yeah, this one. I'm not even going to say this one because it's embarrassing. I'm not going to listen to that. That has to go. Song Exploder.
That's a good one.
You
and I have
a
companion podcast to that as well,
which is
Strong Songs.
Oh, I haven't heard that. Is it literally a companion podcast, or is it just another podcast similar to that?
No, but it's like if you like Song Exploder, Strong Songs is kind of the same thing, but instead of looking at the way Song Exploder delves a lot more into the lyrics and stuff, this goes into the music, and like I don't know near about as much about music theory as I would like to, like why certain chords work well together and what the sort of mathematics behind music is. And this guy does a great job of talking about that exact subject, but talking about it to an audience that doesn't know squat about music theory. Oh. And he explains it, and he's very
I like this already.
Enthusiastic about these songs. It's called Strong Songs by Kirk Hamilton as the host, and he goes through a lot of like classic pop rock classic songs, but he also talks about Satisfied from Hamilton and why that works so well. He goes through like some animated show themes. Mm-hmm. Like he'll have a couple of episodes will be he'll take a look at like sort of little bite-sized analyses of similar songs like that, like theme songs from cartoons or something else like that. But most of them are just a whole song, and he talks about it. The one he did on Bohemian Rhapsody was extremely good, and the one that he did on Elton John, because he tackles both Goodbye Yellow Brick Road and Tiny Dancer.
Tony Danza.
And yeah, Tony Danza, and it's great. And he's a musician himself, and so when he tells you about, all right, now this part in the song, and he'll play it on a piano, and he's just really, really good. And you'll see that it goes to the D7, augmented there, and what that's doing is blah blah blah, and it's really good, really good stuff.
We need to put all of this. So we should put links to all of these in.
Yeah, we should. We'll do
somewhere.
A show notes.
We should do that
kind of thing.
The Jungian life.
We need to do that anyway.
Because it's called Jung. So Jungian life.
Jungian.
This Jungian life, which is kind of like reminds me of This American Life, but it's This Jungian life, which is basically Jungian is like analytical psychology related stuff. I actually haven't listened to any of these yet.
Jungian, whereas
Whereas
Fraser was Freudian.
Yeah, right. It's not Jungian.
Jungian, yeah.
No.
Jung.
That's not how you pronounce it. No.
Okay.
Anyway, great. I'm never going to talk about this again.
I think it's one of those things that's like...
episode 153, which I'm going to listen to probably on the way home tonight, is about chronic anger trapped in resentment. So I'm going to listen to that probably.
That should have been the number one that you want.
There's a podcast called Throughline, which basically examines it takes a headline and then it dives deep into the past, the historical context of that particular headline.
Oh, that's cool.
Right. There is 20,000 Hertz.
Don't know that one either.
Which is another. It's also like one of those tells the stories behind a lot of like highly recognizable songs, well-known pieces of music, etc. There is also you'll like this 1980. Lost Notes. Have you heard? You know anything about this? Oh,
what is this?
Okay, so it's basically it takes that year, 1980, and explores all like the music scene just from that year.
Oh wow!
And the stories behind things. I just listened to the one about like basically like the how disco was. Basically misappropriated, and then how there was a big turn away from it that sometimes turned violent. Turn away from it.
Yes,
it's really
that's
interesting.
Very interesting because there's another podcast I listened to that tackled that exact same subject not too long ago. Yeah.
So and like some of the episodes, like that particular episode was called Grace Jones.
Grace Jones, awesome.
John Lennon and Dorothy Crash, Ian Curtis, the Sugar Hill Gang, Stevie Wonder. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. Deep dive stuff. And then are there any others I tried? American Innovations. I'm kind of struggling through right now, and the Paris Review. I probably has one episode left to hook me in. Otherwise, I'm out. And then of course I have I'm not going to go through the list of all the other podcasts that I listen to, but those are the ones that are kind of making their way into my life and maybe out of my life. But I wanted to. We were talking about the books. This reminded me of the preface.
Mm-hmm. The preface.
I feel so for me, first of all, if you call anything a preface, I automatically want to skip it. Because I feel like, to me, it's like saying, you this wasn't important enough to make it into the actual book.
Yeah, it doesn't get a chapter number.
So
it's
just going to give it a preface.
Yeah.
Right. It's similar to the introduction.
Right. Prologue.
Like the prologue.
Or anything where the page number is lowercase Roman numerals.
Like, just do I need to read this or not? Is it going to be important for the quiz? Like, I'm not.
Did the author even write this part?
I don't. Oh, right. Those are the favorite. Like, I met John on a trip to Seattle last. Blah, blah, blah. Like, oh my god, I don't care.
Flip.
Right. Which then, so there's that. Okay. Then, whether this happens in the preface or the introduction or sometimes in the first chapter, I think college textbooks are famous for this sort of thing, where the author, but I mean, it doesn't have to be textbook related, but it's usually a nonfiction work, right? Where the author, for many pages, explains to us not only why we should be interested in the topic of this book, but also seeks to establish their authority on the subject.
Yes.
Right? This is why, not only why this is important, but also this is why you should be listening to me talk about this. And I just remember thinking, when I was in college and I would encounter this, I don't care. Like,
my professor made me.
I have to read this. Like, I don't have a choice. Couldn't this have just been in like the teacher's edition?
I bought the book.
Right.
I bought the book.
That's
you don't
the other
have to
thing.
sell me
even now
anymore.
as just a student of the world, and I don't have any books assigned to me. Like, I bought it. I bought it already.
Yeah.
I bought it. If you want, put all that stuff that's like, boil it all down and stick it on the cover or the back cover, like the back cover, like,
or make it about another book you've written, not this one. That way I'll be like, oh, I'll have to do that one next.
Right. Like, if you like this, you should check this out too.
It's like when you buy something from Amazon and suddenly you start seeing ads everywhere for the thing you just bought. It's like, why this is like the exact wrong moment for me to be seeing these ads.
You know when this would have been helpful? 2 weeks ago.
Right. Or did you notice you don't have to use this? You don't have to do this. This is completely wasted effort. It's in a thing where I've already bought it. I've already been convinced without this. Now you're.
Where you'll get like you get those emails. You get the emails from like the third. They're not actually from Amazon. They're like from the company that sold you the stuff through Amazon.
Oh, right.
And they want you to know. They want to know, like, how are those furnace filters working out for you? Like, I don't know. I don't have a good.
They're a little dry, but
I don't know what the counterfactual. How do I establish the counterfactual? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Do you want me to go look now?
Let me check. Well, they're crap, Bob.
Do I have to determine its moisture coefficient? Like, I don't know, like, what.
How much powder do I need to put on this thing before I can give you a satisfactory answer?
Why are you asking me this? And it's always about these things. I kid you not. If I look, I'm gonna go in my inbox on my phone. I'm gonna go in here, and I'm just gonna, and I'm not gonna look for. I'm not gonna answer anything. I'm trying to ignore all the other messages, and now everything's jammed up. Okay, let's try this again. I'm gonna go in here, and going into my personal inbox, and I'm going to search for what do they commonly say? How did you like? How did you like? How did you like? Right? How did you like? How did you like? Oh, here it is. How did you like? How did you like? I'm searching. How did you like? Oh, Fandango asks it a lot, apparently.
Fandango.
Fandango wants to know, how did I like Onward? Oh, from March 9th, 2020. Oh, well, I think that was the last movie I saw in the theater.
Oh, you saw it in the theater? I saw it. Did I see it in the theater?
Oh, it even had the audacity to ask, how did I like
I don't think I did.
Star Wars Rise of Skywalker.
Let's see, that is audacious.
Okay, so apparently it is just... Oh, this is a classic. Fandango community, how did you like the Harry Potter adventure from November 19, 2010?
2010?
Yeah.
The Harry Potter adventure? What was that?
That's how they referred to it.
The Universal thing or what? Or just that's what they're calling the movie you went and saw?
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
How did you like that the Harry Potter thing that you went and saw in the theater? How was that, huh? The guy with the glasses? I think I know about that one. Is that okay? Is that all right for you? Work out there? How much powder did it take?
I'm trying to type on my keyboard. Hope I didn't just stop the recording. I'm trying to type on my keyboard, and I shouldn't do that. How did you enjoy? Come on, you know what I'm talking about. Do you not
I definitely know what you're talking about.
What the heck? How do they say it?
And they always like freak me out too, because it's like, Five Frogs Brewing Company has asked you a question, and it's like, who is this? Why are they talking to me? I got this thing from Amazon. It's like the existence of third-party Amazon sellers, barely scratches the surface of what I notice about the item that I just bought. You know what I mean? It's like, if it came from Amazon, if it came from somebody through Amazon, that's all Amazon to me. So when you're asking me like, hey, how are those things? It almost sounds like you saw that I bought them. You're wanting to buy some yourself. And now you're like, hey, those things, okay, I'm thinking about getting some myself. And so it's kind of weird.
I mean, I don't know. You just have to trust me on this. I can't find any right off the top. I do a really good job deleting these. It's just fantastic.
I've gotten pretty ruthless with the unsubscribe button these days.
This is an important inbox item. I got an email here from Utz.
Asking you how you're doing?
No, I got an email here from Utz. Potato chips.
Oh, Utz.
Yes.
I was like, from us?
Utz.
Who us? Utz potato chips. What do they want? You want to sponsor Starch Madness?
They want to sell me some Starch. Yeah. That also, talking about unfortunate shipping moments, or just timing. I bought Henry a telescope for his birthday in November.
Okay. This past November.
Right.
Okay.
It did not come.
Hmm.
Fortunately, I realized in enough time that it wasn't going to come that I was able to get something else. Cool. And then I got something else, and I thought, well, okay, I'll just get it I'll get it to him for Christmas.
There you go.
Well, I get an alert before Christmas that it's back ordered until February.
Ugh.
Right. And so now I'm like, oh, what do I do now? I didn't want to cancel the order because it was such a good price. It was like half. It was a good telescope, but it was like half the price. It was great deal. I'm not gonna do that. And it was unavailable everywhere. We looked across all the different online sellers and even local retailers. No one apparently getting like telescopes were probably one of those. They were like chessboards. Probably they're like super popular during the pandemic. Like,
right?
Things you can do at home. Look at your neighbors with the telescope. Yeah. So
see what they're doing. See, maybe that looks like it would be fun.
Why are you looking at me?
That guy's doing sourdough bread.
Your neighbor playing chess.
Maybe we should get some of that.
So February 10th, I believe, is when it was supposed to come, and that date came and passed. It was still back ordered. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You're not gonna get me. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna fall for it. So then, finally we get an alert. Oh, it's coming. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it shows up on Friday at so I don't know, whatever time it was. And by the time I got home, though, it was probably 8:00 at night.
Mm-hmm.
And Henry, of course, was like, "Oh, like set it up." I'm like, oh my God.
Well, come on.
Okay.
I mean, night time's when you're supposed to use them.
I know, but I'm like, it's 8:00 at night. I've been waiting for like months for it to come. Like, do we have to set it up tonight? Anyway, we got it set up, but then we realized that to get it fully set up, you have to, because it has this brain attached to the side of it that allows you to, it like will automatically.
It'll track.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. But you have to kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? You have to it needs to know where it is in space and time, right? So it needs to orient itself. So you have to point to something that knows to be true, and you also have to like the moon is the most obvious, right? You're not going to screw up the moon for is that the North Star or is that the moon? I'm not sure. Right. But here's the thing.
You really shouldn't have a telescope if you're dealing with that
The
question.
moon has not been cooperative lately because the moon, right now, the moon has not been cooperative because the moon is in a cycle where it's basically rising at like 1 a.m. and setting by like 6 or 7 in the morning.
Yeah,
and so it's like barely up, and it's only like a slither of a moon, and you have to either stay up really late or get up really early. And then on Saturday, and on the weekend, that's typically when you'd be able to do that sort of thing. It was raining.
Oh yes, of course.
So you can't see it anyway. And by the time we thought of it on Sunday, the moon was already too low on the horizon to be able to see it because of the houses around us. And so
it seems odd that in the age of smartphones that pointing it at the moon is the only way.
Well, that's the thing. It's not synchronizing with your smartphone. It's synchronizing with the little computer attached to it. So it's not like. It's not that smart.
The one can talk to the other thing, right?
And it can update it. Yeah, because it can update itself. I don't
Weird.
know.
Okay. Maybe it's like your first step. Like if you can get through this, then okay, we'll let you have the telescope. But if you can't point it at the moon, then we got a problem.
Maybe that's what it is too. Maybe like
you gotta send it back.
Yeah, it's like levels. You got to level up.
We'll send you the cardboard tube.
I just felt bad because we'd waited all this time, and then the weekend it gets here, the moon's like, see you guys.
Yeah. No thanks.
Peace out. See you later.
I got tides to do.
Yeah. Plus, then we're walking. I realize I'm in the yard. We're in the yard, and oh my god, my neighbor! Like, there's a neighbor like 2 places down. It's actually on a different street, but because it's the backyard situation, anyway, he's like a block or more away, but he's at this light on the inside that I think you could see from space. That's how bright this light is. I mean, it is shockingly bright. And I said, Michelle, maybe we can I know we're not supposed to make our fence any higher than it is, but maybe we can just make that one part high. Like there's like
just to cover that guy's
It's in
window.
the back. You think anybody's going to notice we just like get that one part high? Like just a piece of cardboard maybe, just like prop it up there.
Weird monolith poking up on it.
Like, why? Why? I don't understand. What's wrong with people?
What is he looking at? What is he?
It's inside too.
Light?
Like, I don't know. Maybe he's growing plants.
He could be. I mean, I think with
those lights, he very well could be growing some plants. Yeah.
He could be tanning in there.
Or he could be tanning. That's right. We're not that close to Mar-a-Lago.
That's more of a spray thing.
But it is definitely a spray. So I'm hoping that not tonight because it'll be too late. But I don't even know where's the moon going to be tonight?
Up, I think.
Did you say up? I think it's the moon. The moon. I'll have to be more specific than just typing moon in. Apparently,
is not sufficient? Moon. Give moon. Where moon give? Using my Star Walk app, but I can't find
Moonrise.
Moon.
There's a moonrise and moonset. Yeah, it's like a waning crescent right now.
Photo pills.
It's a waning crescent. Like that's the worst kind of crescent you can even have.
That kind of crescent.
It's a crescent. That's like a vanishing crescent.
They
Why don't they call it a vanishing? Why can't they call it a vanishing crescent? Why do you call it a waning? Like waning. What's up with this waxing and waning stuff? Can't we just call it
like whining?
Vanishing. It's a vanishing moon.
Well,
it's a vanishing
know what I
crescent.
hate? Speaking of that, waxing and waning. Yeah, that's a bit archaic. What the hell is waxing gibbous?
Gibbous.
Why don't you bite me, waxing gibbous? Is that a type of monkey? What are you talking about? Gibbous. I know it's the opposite of crescent, but gibbous.
Right.
Ain't nobody heard of gibbous.
They call it a pie.
It's just 3/4 moon.
Like
let's use. We learned fractions in school. Let's use those. It's a quarter moon. It's a half moon. It's an eighth moon.
It's a 19.4% waning crescent, apparently. Anyway, it is.
I think that's what 23andMe said about me.
It is the next. Oh wait, right. I know what time it is right now. I want to know.
That also sounds like something you would call somebody to call them stupid without calling them stupid. It's kind of a waning crescent, if you know what I mean. I don't know why this guy is a New York guy all of a sudden, but he's showed up a lot this episode.
It's the next moonrise is at 4:27 a.m.
Oh.
So there you go.
That's not convenient.
No, it's not convenient, and we're not going to do that. In the morning, you can be as motivated as you want at 8:30 at night.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sorry, when 4 a.m. rolls around, and it's 45 degrees outside, and you think to yourself, am I going to take the telescope outside and look at the moon?
Yeah.
No, it's probably not going to happen. There have been a couple of times that I have.
What the light is.
I have done it. I've gotten up early and gone and looked at, but it's never been me alone. Like, it's usually somebody else, some peer pressure situation where someone says, "Hey, let's get up early and go do blah blah blah."
Yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah. Anyway, so that's interesting. It's going to rise really early, and
so it's essentially not rising tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be up in the morning
for all intents and purposes.
I'm going to have things to do,
like sleep.
Apparently, like sleep.
Not go outside with a tube with glass in it.
What's also a little disturbing is that since I've been talking about the moon, I've noticed that it has moved 2 miles further away than it was when we started talking about the moon.
Like just now.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, it's a bit of an.
It was 237,100. I'm sorry. So it was 237,169 miles away, and now it is 172 miles away now. And that's going even further. This could be the moment with the big change. The big change could be
that the moon is going to be gone.
The moon's leaving us.
Moon's leaving. Space 1999 is right.
And I'm going to feel responsible.
Or no, it's what was it? It's not that. Oh, it's UFO. It was Space 1999 that the moon was blown out of orbit, and the people in the moon base on there are people like traveling on this moon through space, or was that UFO? It was one of those like
it doesn't ring a bell, but
60s weirdo.
Space 1999 was the 70s, wasn't it?
Or 70, I don't know. It's like late 60s, early 70s, maybe. I mean, it was definitely post Star Trek, but it's just odd. I think it was Space 1999, but I may be completely wrong about that. I have been known to be wrong on this show once or twice.
Once or twice.
But
yeah. So that
talking about getting up in the morning.
Oh boy.
To go and do crap like this. Do you have a thing where like? I have this issue where if I get up in the morning, on any morning, even if it's like, it's not like super early, like 4, it can be just the regular time I get up, around 6. Something it's my brain chemistry, I guess, is just to the point where absolutely nothing sounds fun to me. I don't look forward to anything. And it's not like an attitude, I wish I was back in bed, but like if I'm getting up, and I know that I've got things to do that day or whatever, and I think about them, I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to get into that. Even if it was like something really fun. Like when I didn't live next to Walt Disney World, not to say that going to Walt Disney World is not fun now. It definitely is. But it was even more fun when I didn't live next to it because it didn't happen as much. Mm-hmm. And even then, like, we got to get on the road and go to I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it this time. I'm going to skip out of this.
People hate you right now. People are hating. I'm loving every bit of this moment.
And I think it's a brain chemistry thing because like later on, I'll be excited about it. But for
later on in the day?
In the day, yeah. Oh. But it's just for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because I just got up or if it's an hour of the day kind of thing or what. But for some reason, no motivation exists in my head at all when I get up in the morning. And I don't know what the heck it is.
Well, that's interesting.
Brain chemistry is weird.
Well, you're weird. And
this also is true.
I'm trying to think of that. I don't think that's the feeling that I have. I actually may have the opposite feeling. It may be that
oh really?
I'm more motivated. I am more motivated when it is an abstract idea. Like, and I feel like that's the case with everything. Like, the closer I get to it actually happening, the less motivated I am. Right? So,
I can identify with that.
I'm like, oh, we're going to do this weekend? Great. Fantastic. And then like 3 days we're like, really? Why?
So I have a second
and
thought,
then that day
really
you're like, man, do we really want to? I got to put pants on.
Yeah,
right?
I have had that.
There's that whole thing. For me, the 6 o'clock in the morning piece would actually be one of hope and possibilities. And so I think that I would be more inclined to agree to do something then and more looking forward to it then than I would 2 hours later, which is weird. Now I say that now, but I'll pay attention tomorrow. I also find that a lot depends on what is happening in that first hour or two that I am up.
Okay.
And I know this is going to come as some shock to you. But
you powder.
My day is so much better if it begins with like 2 hours of just me time. Like no one else at all.
Yeah, totally get you.
I mean, and it doesn't even, it doesn't even matter what I'm doing. I could be reading the paper. I could be reading, blog posts. I could be answering emails. I could be paying bills. It doesn't matter.
Right.
It's the fact that I don't have to exert any social energy at all. God, this is gonna sound. I can't say it. I'm gonna say it.
Well, you kind of have to now.
Because it's not just Michelle. It's not just her. It's like anyone,
right.
anyone,
anybody. Yes.
Everyone and anyone. I don't care who you
are. The key
are.
is solitude.
I don't care right. The second that I hear the pitter patter of feet, be they adult feet or child feet, animal feet or whatever, like the minute I know that like, oh, something else is awake with me.
You lose the mojo.
I lose a little bit. I just lose a little bit because I now have to think about how I am going to interact with the world
and what I'm doing is affecting other people.
Well, right, and it sounds. Oh my God! I'm such a jerk. Like I'm such a jerk because like I'm such a jerk. It's so bad.
Well, I don't think for this.
Oh no, for this for sure.
Many
because
other
there's times
reasons.
people are like,
oh, we haven't gotten there yet.
People want to get up. They get up and they want to give you a hug, or like somebody, or like maybe the in-laws are visiting or something, or so, or like even a friend. So like, and just in that moment, you're like, okay, here we go.
Yeah,
we're into the day, and it's not that I love these people.
Right? Yeah,
I do. I just love them more when they're asleep. I'm just kidding. No, it's that I have to. I feel some like I can't. I'm distracted. I'm distracted. That's what it is. I'm such like I become a jerk when I'm distracted, and it's just completely selfish feeling, and it's so funny because I can settle back in, right? It's like people are up and doing their thing, right? As soon as they're doing their thing,
you kind of recalibrate to that.
Okay. We're doing the dance now. It's good, right? But then something will, something like pops you back out of orbit, and you're like, okay, now I'm gonna have to recalibrate again and get back in. I have found a secret weapon.
Oh,
you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. The secret is that I get up. And this is I've done this on the weekdays too, which is just doing this on the weekdays is probably the equivalent of wearing like stretchy sweatpants to work kind of feeling. You feel like you're like, really, can I really do this? The answer is yes, you can. And in the morning, I go out and I onto the lanai. I go out. I make some tea or coffee, but usually tea in the morning. And then I will get the paper.
Mm-hmm.
Come back in. Got to do the whole dog thing, which is whatever. But then I go out on the lanai as long as it's light out, or just a little light out. The sun's just like cresting. That's beautiful. Mm-hmm. And then I sit down with my tea and the newspaper. And I turn. I tell our friend Siri, because I have a little HomePod thing sitting outside. I tell Siri, because it's an experiment to see how long it'll last outside. It's lasted years actually. And I tell her to play to shuffle. I don't even shuffle. I just say play, whatever. The Yacht Rock playlist.
Yacht Rock.
It's Yacht Rock Essentials, I think, is what it's called.
Oh wow.
And I will sit there and sip my tea and read the paper and listen to Yacht Rock, which is amazing. And
is that through Spotify or?
Oh, you can. It's on everything. I mean, that's through. That would be Apple Music, but there's also a Google Music. Now it's YouTube Music equivalent, and then I'm sure Spotify has it too.
The Spotify playlist that I use for that same genre is called Mustache Harbor.
Oh, that sounds wrong. That actually sounds like a euphemism. That's not appropriate. You should not be saying that. It's
I gave her a Mustache Harbor.
But it's got Africa and Sailing by Christopher Cross. It's got What a Fool Believes by Doobie Brothers. It's got Peg by Steely Dan. I Can't Go For That by Hall & Oates.
Yeah.
This Is It, Kenny Loggins. Baby Come Back by The Player. It's great. I mean, it's great. It's great. And I find that when I'm listening to that and someone else emerges, it's all okay. It's all okay.
So you're saved by the power of smooth rock.
Well, this particular list, like I don't know. Maybe it's a Doobie Brothers thing.
It could be Steely Dan.
I don't know what it is, but I think that I don't know if it's just chilling me out enough or it's chilling them out or something. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Like it's got this. Even the dogs seem to chill out more.
But, Brandy is a fine girl.
I don't think that's on there.
No, needs to be.
No.
You're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be.
I'm looking. No.
Right Down the Line by Jerry Rafferty.
Yeah, Right Down the Line would definitely be on there. But no, I don't see that one. I don't see that.
Come and Get Your Love.
Oh, no, I wouldn't want that.
No?
No. It's a good playlist. Oh, it's a good playlist. Anyway, I may or may not have listened to that multiple times all weekend long. Yeah. Actually, it was the weekend before last. Henry and Michelle and I played board games. It was a beautiful thing. It was like Christmas. It felt like Christmas. This is a weekend a week ago. Like, so not this past weekend, but the weekend before.
Right.
I think it was like a Saturday. We spent 8 hours. I kid you not, 8 hours playing board games.
Oh, cool.
And actually,
did you play Husker Du?
No, that's here. And listening to music, and it was great.
That's awesome. What board games did you play?
Oh God, I don't remember.
It was awesome, but you don't remember.
We played. We'll start off with chess.
That is a fun not a hoot of a family game.
Took turns. We played. Let's see. We played. We did not beta test this game, which is a
I've got that.
Game. Isn't that fun?
It is fun.
We played Advanced to Boardwalk. We played Categories. We played. Gosh, what else was there? There's like there were these games that I haven't played in for Advanced to Boardwalk. It still smelled like Michelle's basement because I think it was from like the 80s. What else did we play? Michelle's gonna kill me. She'll know like right off the top of her head. Like we played this. We played this. We played. We played Millsborne. Which is another fun like French card game, racing game. I don't think we played Rummikub, but that's a fun game too. I think Henry said he didn't want to play that. What else did we play? I know there's at least one other way we played that I'm not thinking of, but we played for like 8 hours. It was like 8 hours. I mean, we took some breaks obviously to eat and stuff, but it was a lot of fun.
They're starving.
A lot of fun.
That was the first thing that you and I did when the first time we got together.
We listened to Yacht Rock.
Remember Concept? The game that was kind of a...
Oh, yeah. Whatever happened to that?
It's right over there.
Huh. That was a fun game.
Yeah.
That was a fun game.
Ooh.
Yeah. But, anyway, I send your hate mail to Jason at accidentally derivative.
Jason is a jerk at accidentallyderivative.com. It is what it is. I do like people. Yeah, I promise. No apologies.
I do like people. I just like them to be quiet. And
it's better when they're quiet.
I just have to settle into the day. Like it takes a lot of energy for me.
Yeah, totally.
It's not about that. See, I have to put a lot of me away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
There's not enough powder for that. Like I can put a lot of me away.
A lot of chafing going on.
And for me to be able to do that, I got to have enough time to kind of game on, kind of ready up.
Yeah.
And then I'm good. If I don't have time to do that, well, it's going to be a problem.
And it feels good to not be doing that for a little while. And so it's like, so you get to take the suit off or whatever and kind of be cool. And then when the people get up, you got to put the suit on. And it's not always an enthusiastic thing to have to go from not having the suit on to having the suit on.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, but I do enjoy the company of people. I'm not like a hermit. I just I don't know. I really don't know why I talk about it.
You're well aware of how it makes you sound.
I know.
Yet here we are.
I guess maybe in some small way, I'm hoping that like through sharing, there'll be less suffering in the world.
You get it out there. Let it breathe a little bit.
No. Put it back in. It won't
be so bad.
Put it back in.
Maybe there'll be a big change in the next geological year. And maybe not.